the juror who was allegedly bribing the others or tried to bribe them, who was eventually convicted in a Jamaican court, that juror ought not to have been allowed to continue to sit with the others. Now, the judge was in a dilemma. He used, in my view, expediency, that is, not wanting to stop the trial because he couldn't work with 10 jurors only. And therefore, when the 11 were together and one was alleged to have been trying to bribe the other, he chose to continue with what we call the bad apple, which the court I now think is looking at whether that infected the others or whether there was a fair trial by an independent and impartial tribunal. That's the stronger of the two grounds, and I think it's getting some leverage before the judges in the council. You know, if you look at their comments and their engagements with council, I think that they are fairly settled in their minds, and I may be presumptuous or optimistic that this is going to be a problem for the conviction.
Fans of dancehall DJ Vybz Kartel have been calling for his release. Fans of dancehall DJ Vybz Kartel have been calling for his release since his arrest in 2011 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. He was convicted. Fans of DJ dancehall DJ Vybz Kartel have been calling for his release since his arrest in 2011 for the murder of Clive Lizard Williams. He was convicted of that in 2014. Now, just a month shy of the 10th anniversary of that conviction, Jamaica's highest court, the Privy Council, today heard appeals, heard submissions from lawyers representing Kartel as well as those convicted with him. Now, we're going to be getting a breakdown of what happened today in the Privy Council. Later on, we're also going to be talking about some other developments in dancehall. We'll be talking about dancehall as it's showing up in art. We're going to be talking about fashion. We're going to be talking about sound systems. But first, in this segment of the program, I have joining me senior attorneys Bert Samuels and Leonard Green to help us break down what happened in the Privy Council today. Gentlemen, thank you both so much for joining us. Great to have you. And hearing both of you, just make sure you unmute for us. Let me start with you first. Bert Samuels, who you've been representing Sean Campbell, known as Sean Storm, for Jamaicans who have been following along, but maybe especially couldn't spend 4 or 5 hours watching the appeal, the arguments today in the Privy Council, tell me what's the most important thing? Bert Samuels, let me start with you. What do you think was the most important thing that happened today? Okay, don't think he's hearing me. Leonard, can you hear me? Okay, I don't think either of them is hearing me right now. Can we just try to sort that out? And just to remind our viewers that, in fact, the submissions, the appeal is scheduled also to continue tomorrow. So, of course, given the time difference between Jamaica and England, it started at about 5:30 this morning, went on and for several hours, broke for lunch, came back for another 2 hours. We're going to be seeing a similar time schedule taking place tomorrow. So earlier today, we had Queen's Counsel Hugh Southey, who argued before the Privy Council. He's representing Jones and St. John in the appeal. We also saw Isaac Buchanan, Jamaican attorney, who's representing Cartel, and we saw Peter Knox, King's Counsel, who started to make his submissions. He's representing the state in the matter, and he will be continuing his submissions tomorrow, after which there will be a response. And then I was looking, as I said yesterday on Primetime News, at the kind of average time for ruling, and the last few appeals that have come from Jamaica to the Privy Council have taken about, I would say, between 3 to 4 or 5 months for ruling to be handed down. Can you now hear me, Bert Samuels? No, not hearing me right now. Okay. All right, I tell you what, let me just remind you, our WhatsApp line, 381-0072, 381-0072. Give us your first name, give us your general location. Hearing me now, Bert?
She gone.
Okay, I'm now hearing you, Bert. Can you hear me? Okay. You know, technical issues from time to time, folks, in live TV. So we're going to take a break while we try to sort that out. Do stay tuned. We soon come.
Tensions remain high in a section of Lilliput St. James after a vehicle belonging to the PNP candidate for the Rose Hall division, Jason Cummings, was set ablaze. Our reporter, Anthony Lugg, is in St. James and filed this report.
Thank you. So I'm currently in an area called Road 38 in the Lilliput area, and what we're looking at is what's left of the vehicle which was set ablaze last evening. Now, I've been speaking with residents in the community, and they say they're disheartened by what transpired.
Well, it's a sad day in our division. Over the years, we have been all friends, both JLP and PNP supporters. We have good relationship, you know. If it is politics, we don't really want it to rear its ugly head, you know, because we are all one. It's a democratic thing. Everybody have a right to choose who they want to choose. So we just hope to keep it and to keep politics out of this whole incident.
Now, the PNP's candidate, Jason Cummings, has also been speaking with our news team. Mr. Cummings said while he's disheartened by what transpired, the support has been inspiring.
My phone keep blowing up from morning. I get calls from all over because, you know, the people are saddened by this. Because here is the man who wants to do for the people, and some little incident to slow him down. You know, they are disheartened, but they are praying for us. They are giving me words of encouragement, and they even tell me that they're still solid behind me. This has not, they have not lost hope.
Now, tension remains high here in the Lilliput community in St. James, following the series of events which transpired Thursday evening. Things are so bad that the leader of the opposition was supposed to tour the area, but we were told he was advised not to do so. Reporting from Montego Bay, St. James, I'm Anthony Lugg for TVJ News.
Meanwhile, shortly after the fire was set to the vehicle, a man accused of setting the fire was shot and killed in Lilliput in the parish. The deceased has been identified as 44-year-old Kenroy Doman. However, Mr. Doman's family has refuted accusations of political motives, as they say he was mentally ill. Mr. Doman was found with bullet wounds sometime after 9 p.m. in an area known as Africa, close to his home. The shooting happened less than 2 hours after the car was set ablaze at PNP candidate Jason Cummings' premises. Following the incident, there were fears of political tension in the division amid speculation about a possible motive. But one of Mr. Doman's daughter has brushed aside the speculations. 2 persons, including a police constable, are dead following a motor vehicle crash on Harbour Road, St. Catherine on Wednesday. The policeman has been identified as Constable Renardo Spence, while the other man is Marshall March. According to reports, the lawman was traveling on his motorcycle about 1 a.m. when he collided with a motor car at a section of Old Harbour Road. The incident has upset residents in Churchpen. They say March's body was recovered by residents from bushes near the crash site on Thursday, more than 24 hours after the fatal incident.
When we come down here, it was our friend dead. Yes, when we are going in the bush to search, an officer fire shot into the air and told us to come from out of the bush. We don't get my phone. We don't get Marshall's phone because my sister boyfriend and my sister call on your phone and the phone not answer. Yesterday, my sister said to me, Nana, my sister, you know, say Marshall not there, not talk. So me laugh and me say, she said no, in the past silent, and she started laugh. Then she wake up this morning and say, you know what, say my dream, Marshall dream and tell me say dead and in a dark bush. And she said, she come to my cousin and she said, you know, say Jeannie look like Marshall dead, and everybody say, oh no, tap say so, because that's not true. Then police don't forget no money for me in charge in force. Me I tell you, them not get no pay, all 2 year pay they not forget.
Come on, Jamaican people, this is not fair to have a police force. I want them compound crime scene. They are not moving the wheel like it's a crime scene, them compound. They are coming like them coming on a murder scene, a gun scene and a crime scene.
With the local government elections just days away, both political parties are yet to submit a manifesto. This was revealed at the first local government debate Thursday night. Campaigning for the February 26 local government elections continues to heat up, with the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party entering the first of two debates on Thursday. However, neither of the parties have presented a manifesto. The document
Ready to go to the dentist?
Yeah, man, let's go.
All right.
Using slow unlimited data for navigation app. Stop avoid traffic. Come on now.
Get a 7-day
The document is a public declaration of policy and aims which should be presented before an election.
The Jamaica Labour Party has in fact completed its manifesto. The publication of that manifesto will be made available soon. The reality is a manifesto is not a static document, it's a working document. And so you referenced 2016. We have to remain current and conversant with the issues of the people of Jamaica. And so the consultation has taken place and the manifesto has been completed and at the appropriate time will be made available to the people of Jamaica.
Our manifesto is completed and will also be published soon. But there's more to a manifesto than just words and promises.
But representatives from the two parties were very defensive of the rules in local government. The debate got heated when neither party was willing to walk away and let the other think that they had won.
When you talk about deception, it was my friend in the last debate who said that the most deceptive government was the Jamaica Labour Party government, who also said that she is no part of the deception team. So I want to know is that she has sold out to the deception. Because tonight, I know that the People's National Party remains that party.
This is the moment for amazing grace, where I say to my friends, I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. So no, it's not deception. Experience teaches wisdom. And one day I pray that wisdom will visit upon my friends and they will join us on this side. We continue the sensible management of the business of the people of Jamaica. We are the administration that is committed to building you and to building your communities. How do we do that? Through engagement, through performance, and through communication.
The second and final debate is due to be held on Saturday at 9 p.m. One civil society group is questioning whether there will be a pause on legislation to further address corruption during the 2024-2025 legislative year. Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, was speaking on the morning agenda on Power 106 Thursday.
Will there be a pause on legislation to further address corruption during the 2024-2025 legislative year? Executive Director of Jamaicans for Justice, Michael Jackson, says there was no mention of this priority issue in the throne speech that was delivered by Governor General Sir Patrick Allen during the ceremonial opening of Parliament on Thursday. Ms. Jackson acknowledged that while several achievements were highlighted, the speech, which traditionally sets the legislative agenda, missed the mark on a number of critical national development matters. She says legislation to deal with unexplained wealth and bribery appear to have been left off the agenda.
The challenge that we're also having, even keeping within the context of corruption, is that you have joint select committees currently meeting or have been meeting, focusing on the Integrity Commission Act and the Protected Disclosure Act, commonly called the Whistleblower Act. You get no sense of continuity in the throne speech because to date, despite these two joint select committee meeting as far back as 2022, you have no indication of when the recommendation report will be tabled.
Ms. Jackson says the government is obligated to be transparent in what is included in the throne speech and not to falsely give the impression that an item is new.
The mediation bill, for example, it was mentioned as far back as 2021 and it was mentioned again last year. How can you put something in a throne speech that suggests that this is some new legislative idea when it was in fact mentioned before? What we would want in a throne speech, as symbolic as it is that there is some acknowledgement that these things were on the legislative agenda last year, the year before, and for whatever reason they weren't met.
In the meantime, the JFJ Executive Director has put forward recommendations to help parliamentarians pass more legislation in the new year. Ms. Jackson says Parliament passing 19 of 37 bills last year was not impressive.
For example, you have amendments that were passed, like extending the zones of special operations, the period for that. So that was still nothing ambitious, and that is counted among the 19 when you look at the House of Parliament website. To answer the question, though, in terms of what we can do differently, one of the recommendations that have been made is, for example, the members of Parliament getting some more hands-on assistance with people who can help them to review the bills. That's a reasonable ask. We know that we need more drafters in the system.
O'Shane Masters, TVJ News.
It's time for a break. Stay with us. More stories when we return. Welcome back to the Midday News. The long-awaited procurement policy framework has been officially launched. Minister of Industry, Investments and Commerce, Orbin Hill, is warning both prospective contractors and those in authority to play fair. Karen Simpson reports.
Fairness and accountability. Those are the essential prerequisites for those seeking to participate in the procurement process for government contracts. Over $60 million have been set aside for government contracts. Orbin Hill is Minister of Industry, Investments and Commerce.
The CPE policy seeks to secure value for money for Jamaican taxpayers and citizens. Value for money by promoting transparency and fair evaluation.
Speaking at the recent launch of the inaugural Elevate Procurement Conference, Mr. Hill said the policy is aimed at making it easier to do business.
We have people who we like and some we definitely don't like. And we try to interpret the policy to fit our likes and dislikes and our family and friends. Please, Jamaicans, let's not do that.
He is therefore urging those in authority to be fair in their part of the process.
Please, Jamaicans, play the game fair, especially if you're an authority. When somebody comes to me and wants, or it doesn't come to me, it goes through the process, comes up to me and they want to do scrap metal, they must do it the right way. They want to export something, don't find a way to block them because your uncle wants to export the same. To export the same thing, make sure the playing field is fair.
He also had this warning for prospective contractors.
If you have your family in a procurement place that is favoring you, it's a matter of time it's going to come out. Because somebody's going to talk, and the more we get transparent, the more the light shines on it.
Karen Simpson, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Annual inflation was 7.4% as at January 2024. The Statistical Institute of Jamaica says the average movement was influenced mainly by a 4.6% increase in the cost of food and non-alcoholic beverages for January 2023 to January 2024. Transport costs rose 9.5%, while housing, water, electricity, gas and other fuels increased by 4.6%. Looking at the average price movement from December 2023 to January 2024, there was a 0.1% decline in the Consumer Price Index. This decline was influenced mainly by a 0.7% decrease in the cost of food and non-alcoholic beverages. A 0.8% decline in the index for the food category was attributable to lower prices for agricultural produce such as yam, Irish potato, cabbage, carrot and tomato due to increased supplies. Further afield, Target is taking aim at budget-conscious consumers with a new value brand. Dealworthy rolls out this month to shelves at Target stores nationwide and online. The brand will include 400 items. Most will cost less than $10, with the cheapest coming in at under $1. The inventory ranges from phone chargers to disposable plates and even underwear. The company hopes to attract new customers by giving them a cheaper alternative with the credibility of a brand that's actually owned by Target. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Kerry-Ann Simpson.
Time now for the top regional and international stories.
In the region, in Guyana, men can now apply for maintenance or spousal support following divorce proceedings. In a landmark ruling on Monday by Chief Justice Roxanne George Wiltshire, it was determined that either party can apply for maintenance. The ruling stemmed from a constitutional motion filed to challenge the alimony laws that have existed in Guyana since the early 1900s. On the international scene, Russia's opposition leader Alexei Navalny has died in prison. Regarded as President Vladimir Putin's most vociferous critic, Mr. Navalny was serving a 19-year jail term for offenses widely considered politically motivated. According to the prison service, Mr. Navalny felt unwell after a walk. And Greece has become the first Christian Orthodox majority country to legalize same-sex marriage. Same-sex couples will now also be legally allowed to adopt children after Thursday's 176-76 vote in Parliament. Greece's Prime Minister said the new law would boldly abolish a serious inequality. It has divided the country with fierce resistance led by the Orthodox Church. Its supporters held a protest rally in Athens. And those were the top regional and international stories. I'm Shane Masters.
We head to a quick break. When we come back, have your midday sports report with Jeremy Brown.